Good morning. Today we will discuss metamorphism, factors of metamorphism, and types of metamorphism. First of all, we will discuss a rock cycle in the sense that you all know that there are three types of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic, and one can form from the other. They are interrelated in cyclic form. For example, igneous rock is found by crystallization, or you can say solidification of magma. From igneous rock, sedimentary rock, either sedimentary rock can form if conditions of erosion, transportation, deposition are available. If there is pronounced change, it can result into metamorphic rock. Excess heating or melting of metamorphic again can produce magma, and from that igneous rock can form. From metamorphic, by erosion, transportation, deposition, sedimentary rocks can form, and metamorphism of sedimentary rocks can result into metamorphic rocks. So these three types of rocks, igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic, they are interrelated in a cyclic form, and this relationship is known as your rock cycle. This is also known by geochemical cycle because the chemical constituents, they are migrated or they are changed from one form to another. So that is in brief about the rock cycle. So the three types of rocks, igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic, are there. Today we are discussing metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks, or metamorphism in general, is the pronounced change in a rock due to subjection of higher temperature, pressure, and chemically active fluids. These changes takes place in solid states, and there is a recrystallization, or you can say the reconfiguration of already present minerals in the parent rock. For example, in a parent rock, if there are two minerals AB and CD, on recrystallization or on metamorphism, they will form AC and BD. So overall bulk composition remains the same. There is internal readjustment of the composition, and that we call as the recrystallization. This recrystallization or this change in this solid state are the factors, or in other words we can say the factors of metamorphism are: number one, temperature. Now this temperature, you all know, is either due to internal heat of the earth or where there is magmatic events are there, or magmatic activity is going on. So these two are, you can say, the available sources of heat due to which the rocks can recrystallize, or they can have the change in their mineral composition. Now this temperature range, mostly the recrystallization takes place in the temperature range 350 to 850 degrees Celsius. Or the other way of saying is that the changes that takes place above diagenesis and below melting of the rocks. So above 850 or on, the rocks get melted, so that is the upper limit, and the lower limit is below the, you can say, above the phase of your diagenesis. So in broad, the major metamorphic rocks that have been formed or the changes that takes place are in the temperature range 350 to 850 degrees Celsius. Now the second factor is the pressure. The pressure increases with the depth, and broadly the pressure is of two types. That is uniform pressure or hydrostatic pressure. The second is your directed pressure or non-uniform pressure. With increase in uniform pressure, there is change in volume. If equal pressure is subjected on a body from all sides, the shape will remain the same, but there will be a change in the volume. Whereas in non-uniform pressure or stress or directed pressure, if that is applied, there will be change in the shape of the body. It will elongate in a direction perpendicular to the stress or the forces where they have been applied. So these two types of pressures, that is uniform pressure and directed pressure, they are different in Earth's interior at different depths. So the second factor is the pressure. Now there can be metamorphic change singularly, means by only one factor, only say temperature may be responsible for the change. Predominantly the temperature is if the change is due to the temperature, then the various names that are used for the metamorphism where this temperature is a factor for change is, you can say, the pyrometamorphism, thermal metamorphism, then contact metamorphism, caustic metamorphism. So such names have been used with minor differences, but overall the main, that is the temperature, is the main or dominating factor. The second, the pressure, I told you that it can be a combination of pressure, temperature, the changes due to, or it can be singularly by one factor. If only the directed pressure is responsible for the change, then that type of metamorphism, the various names used are cataclastic metamorphism, dynamic metamorphism, mechanical metamorphism, dislocation metamorphism. Such terms are used for the changes, or you can say the type of metamorphism. Third, if directed pressure and heat both, if the change is due to both these two factors, that is the directed pressure and heat, the main name that is used for such changes of metamorphism are dynothermal metamorphism, that is also known as the regional metamorphism. And the fourth combination, uniform pressure and temperature, because as there is a geothermal gradient in the earth and there is an increase in pressure also, so at deep levels, that's why it is this uniform pressure and heat, if they are responsible for change or for recrystallization, that such type of metamorphism is known as the plutonic metamorphism. Just like igneous rocks, plutonic rocks, they are deep-seated rocks, so such conditions are available in deep-seated inside the earth, so that is known as the plutonic metamorphism. And in addition to these temperature and pressure, there is third factor that is also responsible for metamorphism, is the chemically active fluids. Chemically active fluids like our carbon dioxide, mainly the steam, then carbon dioxide, hydrofluoric acid, borane, fluorine, such volatiles or the liquids, they are universal vehicle for alteration in interstitial, or you can say they are the interstitial volatiles that are present in matter in the capillaries or the pores of the rocks. So they enhance, they are catalyst, they are sort of a catalyst that enhances the metamorphism. So overall speaking, the three factors of metamorphism are temperature, pressure and chemically active fluids. So there is generally a question in the examination, the factors of metamorphism. So it should now be very clear, the factors of metamorphism is the temperature, and the temperature, there are two sources of temperature, the internal heat of the earth, second the magmatic heat. So if a rock is subjected by any of these, if due to either in the subduction zones where the rocks are subjected inside, they get recrystallized, or if there is an invasion of magma, the overlying rocks can get recrystallized. So these are two natural sources of heat, that the internal heat and the magmatic heat, and in general the changes are in the temperature in 350 to 850 degree. Then the second factor of metamorphism is pressure. Again, pressure is of two types, uniform pressure and directed pressure. The various other names for uniform pressure is hydrostatic pressure, and for non-uniform pressure it is directed pressure or stress. And third is your chemical, I just told you that the chemically active fluids. So in general, these are the three factors of metamorphism, and depending upon the factors which are responsible, different names of metamorphism are used. Only single, it can work as individual factor can work as singularly, means only one factor is responsible. For example, if the heat is the dominating factor, then the metamorphism will be called thermal metamorphism, pyrometamorphism, right, contact metamorphism. pneumatic metamorphism, caustic metamorphism, such terms are used. That very minor differences are there between these names which I have just spoken for types of metamorphism which are responsible or in which the main factor is the temperature or the heat. Then the second, only one factor, if the directed pressure is the responsible factor for the change, then such type of metamorphism are called cataclystic metamorphism, dynamic metamorphism, mechanical metamorphism, and dislocation metamorphism. Then the third combination which have been observed in the metamorphic terrains is the main, that is the directed pressure and heat. If these two together work in changing or in recrystallizing the rock, then the term is the dynothermal metamorphism, or well known by the regional metamorphism. Similarly, if uniform pressure and heat, they are the two responsible factors for the metamorphism, then the term plutonic metamorphism is used. So in general, the concept of metamorphism is that these all changes take in the solid state. The rocks remain in the solid state, but there is an internal change in, or you can say the internal change in the configuration of the mineral assemblage. Just if two minerals AB and CD are there, they will recrystallize as AC and BD. So the all changes in metamorphism takes place in the solid state. Secondly, all changes takes place above the diagenesis and below melting. Third, all changes takes place below the zone of weathering and cementation. Now, depending on then the typical mineral assemblages are developed from broadly metamorphism that we categorize. Further we will study low grade, medium grade, high grade. It means this grade is on the basis of, you can say, temperature pressure range, right? So in low temperature we understand, or low grade we can understand that they are under lower pressure temperature conditions, and likewise medium and high grade. So for today it was what is metamorphism, what are the factors of metamorphism, and on the basis of the factors the different types of metamorphism. So this is all for today. This was the first my video lecture on metamorphism. We'll continue next turn. For next turn we'll go on the further the metamorphism, types of metamorphism. So this was for today. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.